noise. Back in January, Kim had an open here, and there were a few people showed up, and I wrote this in honor of that. A test of wills, opposing sides in a tug of war, making choices that seem too extreme for the weather. While one says yes, the other no. I must decide if I should go. Face the cold and wind. Prospects of a crowd are dim. It's a frigid Friday, snowy night. But at Poets Hall, it's open mic. And I've earned my seat and the love of others who understand the compulsion which holds me as its hostage and coerces me to follow my heart. I'm out the door to be with my second family instead, to hear such words said which bait my intellect and salivate my parched tongue with anticipation. Worried if I should be asking, am I better off tonight than the frozen drunk puking in a taxi or Romney's dog on the roof? This feeling is akin to a final request for a last cigarette before a firing squad. I feel like a martyr about to give an honorable death or die at the Inquisition, making me wish I could implore Saint Sebastian for this. Bring me love to keep me warm, and let me want the right words for such as express their need to read, without the clemency of weather, whose poetic impulse defines them as authentic addicts, searching for a fix, regardless of a January blizzard. I simply titled this Sunday morning. I was just sitting in my chair calmly with my window open. It was a beautiful Sunday day. And I've had this problem with, I had a broken window, I was fixing it. And this bird, he has a little nest up there above my porch, and I can hardly get near that window, He's over there all the time, squawking. I think it must be the dad. I don't know. Could have been the mom, but he wouldn't let me work on that window. So it took me a while to get that window in, so. Sunlight awakens the freshness of new day. Day drip dew of Tim Hortons coffee. Toasted bagel with butter. Starts another variation of theme. Toward heavenly from mundane. Transform my thoughts. Scolding by a blackbird's raucous caw, squatting under my rooftop. Peaceful after Saturday's squall. Sounds of church bells serenely call. Beckoning saints to come. Raise hosannas to God's glory. The sounds from a quiet Sunday morning. Read Post-Gazette Sunday edition. Banter with friends on a leisurely stroll. Watch the sports on television. Although knowing time's duty will unkindly expire and bring to an end its Sabbath piety. Since no escaping from the clock, grateful am I to start my walk, but for wishing I were missing a certain blackbird's squawk. And I was in bed one night, as I often am, and you know how you get right and you get through it, and then you're like, damn, you're under the covers, and this happens in winter, and then you're like, wow, get this line, and you rush back out, and then you go back to bed, and then you're back out again. Well, that's what this is about. It's how musical chairs. I find it nice sometimes to wind down at an early hour, make a beeline for the bedroom, undress and take a hot shower. Instead of television or finishing applications, I climb into bed with my books next to me, in case I want to read, while under the covers warm and fed, until an unction compels me to exit, back into the night with my nakedness, into the cold to write these words. Just because my body said yes, my mind wasn't ready yet. It had ideas it wanted projected, and only needed the space and quietness from a reading next to a bedlight to ignite it, seething with envy. Luckily for me, the pence and comforter are waiting on the tea table and sofa. They knew a line would come and keep me up and down until the mind was empty. But what truly amazes me is how lazy thoughts can be at breakfast. I like to try this one. I just don't know if I got to. I'll read this one here. This is I'm going to read that one. This is so much. Yeah, I have to read some. Yeah. All right. This one's called Intrigue. And it's just like a banner back and forth between a man and a woman here. Babe, so you can dance. Great, I've seen that in 2-year-olds in pickup pants. Yeah, you got talent to sing. I can rap, same thing. So you finished school. A thug can have a degree too. Okay, you've got a bank account. I don't even have a clue as to my amount. Maybe you ride a Lexus. I've got a limo the side of Texas. So your bling requires a bodyguard. Mine's insured by Scotland Yard. Yeah, your body's a number 10. Mine has the strength of 5 men. Your video got viewed on YouTube? I made the news from being sued. You taunt the men into believing you're a helpless freak? I guarantee the satisfaction a woman seeks. What you said you read and write poetry? Hey, maybe you're just a girl for me. These are oldies, but they're goodies.
What goodies?
This is called perspective. It all depends on where you sit, how you view, if it suits you. It may be flat, it may be round, but if it works okay, makes a perfect fit, who cares whether it's said in shit? It all depends on whom did lay that turd, and if it was laid with gold, it could wind up on eBay and fetch quite a bit. And I'm sure someone who made that bid was very satisfied they did. From where they said it was a win-win. The moral to the story is that for some shit you may say it pays, while for others you must come to grips that not every thought should pass your lips. For all to have heard, that sometimes it is just a turd. This is really hard. I'll read this one. This is back in 1968. This is one from going down to Pittsburgh. My uncle was a steelworker. I remember going down there at times. Well, we were down here at night. 1968. The car ride took forever, slow as an elevator, stopping at every floor. Relatives of my brother and I just not sure why. After dinner, we were taken on a tour to the steel plant where my uncle-in-law worked. A behemoth smokestack of black, everything black, the earth, the sky, the darkness. Smoke hung in the air, drunk with the smell, flames burning like the fires of hell. I wondered if the river was blue. America's right to rule was being questioned, but she was invincible and tough as steel. She stood tall, living up to the call. Her torch, unextinguished, indivisible with liberty and justice, for all her motto. The dream was alive here, for every bee in the hive, where blue-collar football hadn't yet began her dynasty, emblazoned with the symbol of one about to decline. Only this wasn't a steam engine locomotive of nostalgia. This was America selling out, not once but repeatedly each succeeding decade. America could afford someone asking for more. Had we had our heyday? Has someone bought milk? Is it still made in the USA? Who sold us out? Unions? Greed of corporate giants? Industrializing nations far away? Who should I blame? Shanghai, Monterey, or Bombay? How many could play this game? At what cost? What's left to take away? Whom are we to trust? Can the internet save us? Tell me, how can we recycle rust? Look to the stock market, about to bust. Hey, what's all the fuss? Where's Mr. Big Business gone? Could someone just go buy a government savings bond?
That was when?
1968.
That's when you wrote that?
Yeah. Oh, that's just the year we did. I remember
Oh, okay.
kids.
Okay.
Sometime back
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, I'm like, shit,
Was
that's
there-
today.
then. Yeah.
was there high internet back then?
Hey, this one here, I'm going to try to get that rap thing. I'm not good at that, but I'm going to try it.
Do it.
I added a little bit to this one. Imagine love that I wish, I miss. Why can't I find the love I want? Prowling like a lion on the hunt. Am I too choosy? Bypassing love for the quickie? Less risk to confide, superseding my real need? Hung up searching for a dream queen? Feeling like an underachiever? Am I a self-deceiver? Believing love will be a bust, screwed up by others who have made it corrupt. I forgo giving love my trust. What little faith I have to doubt falls through my fingers without grasping. I never bother asking, did I subliminally wish it fail? Lied to myself before I tried? Have I made my expectations way too high? Confessing she's not my type, teeter-tottering what I think is right. I never look twice. I only see in a one-dimensional reality. Are the best days of love behind? Perhaps I should just jump in blind. Meanwhile, if I continue to sing the poor me's, I'll never find my happy family, chasing this mediocre fantasy. Am I doomed to wander through life on an endless, repeating, self-defeating journey, always seeking, never meeting a soulmate? Is this to be my fate? Is it worth the sacrifice, losing 7 years off my life, forfeiting the pleasures from love, only to become a member of the Lonely Hearts Club? Damn, my survival's at stake, dependent on me finding some. But what if love's not worth the wait? What if I've used up all my chances? No more wishes can be granted. Oh, I might have to lie a bit, rewrite the script and bite my lip, and tell myself it's all been overrated, just because heaven's waiting. I'm running out of time. Okay?
Don't rush.
Okay.
Take your time.
Now this one here was a family outing. You know, sometimes we had good times. Like last time I read, I think I depressed a lot of people, but I don't know. But this one here, this was a good outing. We had a lot of trips we took, you know, even though we ended up being broke when we came back. But
Depends on what you did when you were there.
every one of us packed into the Ford, that is, including the picnic basket. Vacationing was Dad's reward as much as that pension check and Thanksgiving turkey. Mom had prepared sandwiches, crackers, cookies, carrots, and celery with cream cheese or peanut butter on which to snack on our trip to Niagara Falls. Usually once on the Canadian side, long before a passport was needed to cross, we'd find a spot of grass to have our picnic. Mom's homemade rolls attracting honeybees. My brother and I playing catch. Hunting a parking spot so close to the action was nearly impossible. We would see horse-drawn carriages and the mist rising from the falls while we drove around. Mom taking pictures of us kids. Dad sometimes sat on a bench smoking cigarettes until our return from walking. It would have been nice had we rented bikes like Chinese tourists. I often wonder why no one tried another attempt over the emerald green waters. The falls were obviously a tourist trap. Floral gardens, museums, Sky Tower, and Niagara on the Lake. However, there were other ideas for our family outings. Our New England trips excited us boys. I was caught up in the history from my habit of reading early American classics. We swam in the pool of each motel until the mosquitoes became too thick and pesky. The Adirondacks, Finger Lakes, Watkins Glen, and Corning Glass lay surrounded by mountains. We took the gondola to the top of Mount Mansfield in Vermont, imagining the 89 lodges filled to capacity in winter. But oftentimes we just submerge ourselves in a bed and breakfast at Letchworth State Park or a cabin in Allegheny State Park. Big lakes made for swimming or canoeing. Two things Mom feared was swimming and eating mushrooms. The latter poisoned her grandmother. Other times we couldn't afford such luxuries. We'd simply go to the Allegheny Reservoir to visit Kinser Dam. Dad always trying to explain how the dam made electric power and saved flooding. Sometimes our uncle would give us a ride in his boat, the spray electrifying. We would climb the curvy mountain road up to the top, called Jake's Rocks. There were picnic tables and barbecue grills and a rocky outlook. But my brother and I immediately set out to explore the jagged cliffs and to follow what we thought was a trail. I had read all the American Indian uprisings against the colonist excursions and the inevitable revenge enacted on the natives. Yet without hesitation, this did not dissuade me from wishing I could have been an Indian warrior before the advent of settlers. I always get that yearning whenever I drove a truck through the eastern mountains and crossed rivers that had Indian names which mean something. The highways now clogged with citizens, hoping to escape their self-sufficient concrete jungles. Well, I only wish I could travel back in time to a place where once memories had no existence.